when they don't focus on all the big corporate stuff, it seems to be better overall.
So let's go ahead. We got a few more things to discuss. So live action Beauty and the Beast is coming. Starring a bunch of, oh my gosh, there's so many
Emma
good.
Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson, Luke Evans, which is budget Orlando Bloom, for those of you who don't know. It's got freaking Ewan McGregor, Ian McKellen,
guy from Downton Abbey.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci is in it.
I like how we're naming all these, and you're like, guy from Downton Abbey.
I don't know his name.
a show that like me or Corey would never ever watch.
It's like, that guy.
That one was for
Thompson,
the mom
too.
That's our fan.
Exactly. That one mom's like, oh, really?
Downton
I
Abbey.
like that guy from Downton Abbey.
He's
Actually,
just
I think
that guy,
that's
though.
for Happy.
Yep.
That's for Happy.
That one's for Happy. So we told we were talking about the cast among my friends the other day, and I mentioned that guy, and I said, oh, looks like the only thing he's been in is Downton Abbey. And one of my friends who is his name is Adam. He's a wonderful guy. He's the only one who said, who is that character? Like, what character does he play? And I told him, he's like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Like we had like 2 or 3 women that were with us, and none of them were like anything interested in Downton Abbey. But you go, Adam. He's actually probably one of the 2 people who listen to this too. So.
He'd be one of the 2 people at our panel.
Exactly.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
But it looks like it's going to be a big project for Disney coming out. Their next big thing since The Jungle Book, and they've released images of what the characters look like as their inanimate objects, basically. Ewan McGregor's playing Lumiere, so him as the candle.
My favorite character.
Yeah, Ian McGregor is playing my favorite character, Cogsworth. I think that really says a lot about Scott and my relationship, which character we like. They've got then they released Emma Thompson's Mrs. Potts and Chip, and
the back of Gaston's head.
Oh, did we see the back of Gaston's head?
There's kind of this shot they took of that, the famous bar scene.
Isn't Josh Gad?
Oh, he's LeFou.
Yeah, he's LeFou. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so they have this shot that they released. It's Luke Evans from behind at that infamous bar scene. Mm-hmm. You kind of see LeFou up in the corner, kind of squatting down a little bit. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Do you think they'll do the music for it? Does that sound about right?
I hope so. I like the music, actually, from Beauty and the Beast. It's good music.
Do you think Emma Watson has a good singing voice?
So, I imagine that she's a very talented woman. She probably has all kinds of talents that we don't know about.
Okay.
She's probably knows how to play 4 instruments, speaks 6 languages. I mean,
yeah.
And if not, there's computers to auto-tune her voice. So
I say just keep the hits and cut out all the other stuff.
Yeah, I
just
think you do Bonjour,
Yeah.
Gaston, Be Our Guest, and Tale as Old as Time. I think those 4, those are pretty much all of them. Actually, if I really think hard about it, I think there's maybe one.
I think there's
other one.
Yeah, maybe 3 other
but
ones.
But those, the problem is that all of those songs are really iconic for the story.
Right.
Like the Bonjour, the beginning song for the musical,
the world.
It really sets that tone of everybody looks at Belle and just is kind of like, we're all leaving our normal lives, and she's over here with her head in the clouds. What the heck's wrong with you, girl? The Gaston song, I think, is the one that you could cut, but that one's like the fun little romp through everything, where you get to really tell that Gaston is just surrounded by people who he wants to be surrounded by and who he thinks praise him.
Bunch of
because
yes
they like
men.
him. Exactly.
Yeah. George Lucas.
Yeah, exactly. He's a George Lucas. And then the Tale as Old as Time song is obviously very iconic. Yeah. I think that one could be even cut. Maybe even just the music for it.
Yeah, and
during the
that's when you do
scenes.
the training montage, but it'll be the getting Beast dateable montage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got Be Our Guest,
the makeover montage.
Yeah, there you go.
If Ewan McGregor doesn't sing, that is a shame, because
he does.
He's a really good.
He was in.
No, I meant if he doesn't sing in this movie.
Oh, I was going to say he sings. He's Moulin Rouge.
I love him in Moulin Rouge. I think that
sings.
one of the only musicals that Scott can stand too is Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think he's got a great singing voice. But the look of these characters that we've got, these 4 different characters, some of them look good, some of them look kind of bad, in my opinion.
They're just still photos, though, so they might be a lot better than,
who knows,
than what we're seeing here. But
so, the one that we got for Mrs. Potts is
the worst one.
It's the worst. It's got the tea kettle like normal, and then it's got her face just pasted on the side.
Yeah, it's not
just
using the snout of the tea kettle
No.
as her nose, which is I think that's a miss. But
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if maybe in the movie, as she's moving to turn and talk to people, the teapot isn't moving, but her face moves throughout it. Like, so at one point, maybe it does have her eyes with the nose, and they just had to show you a side view for that with the face in it.
Maybe.
So I mean, there's things that they can do to make it better. I know Cogsworth looks really good. I really liked his look. Cogsworth and Lumiere almost look full size.
Yeah.
Like human size.
Yeah.
Which worries me just a little, but not.
But there's
too
nothing
much.
really to compare to.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, yeah, except for a cartoon. Which
Well, and
No, I'm saying
you
in
mean
the photograph.
in the photo,
yeah,
not
there's
the
not
movie
a
in general.
reference.
Yeah,
point, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like, they don't put an apple.
Yeah. The thing with the characters too is as the spell gets closer to the end, they become more transformed. So maybe we'll see them.
So as this is going on,
get worse and worse as it goes.
So basically, instead of it just being A to B, it's instead of an evolution, a Pokemon evolution, we see a more progressive, like growing up evolution, which would be really cool. I think that's a good analogy.
Don't they? So that's what's coming out. 2017, I'm sure.
Yes. Now, I have one problem with this movie, and I saved this to talk to you guys about it. Emma Watson has been like the advocate for feminism, like true feminism, not this kind of all men are evil and only women, kind of feminism that goes around. But she's been like this, we need strong female characters, we need to portray a better light for that. And then she decides to go and play a girl who gets Stockholm Syndrome and marries a dog or a beast, as it were. I'm not exactly sure.
However,
Belle's pretty
Belle as a
independent.
character, yes, exactly. She's not marrying Gaston, which everyone thought she would in town, because she's like, screw this, I'm going to go do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Which is in this case reading books, whatever. People like what they want, And then she goes out to find her own. She runs away on her own because.
And she goes
she's
after
just tired
her
of
dad.
whatever.
Yeah, she goes
in the
after
woods.
her
That's
dad.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Fight
Been,
some
guys,
wolves.
it's been a long time since I've seen this, so forgive me.
I
here.
just saw it on Thursday, a play, actually.
Oh,
so this is
perfect.
really fresh for
All right,
me.
yeah.
But
so
yeah, I
she
mean,
goes
I
and-
feel like as a character for Emma to choose is probably a pretty good choice. But you know what? Most Disney female characters, they're princesses and stuff, but they all are very independent and usually pretty strong.
It's true.
They obviously do
Except
have
for their end goal.
marry
the
marry
prince.
the
They do
prince.
have that, that romance stuff, but a lot of it's like try to get the kids in, try to get
and
the,
think of when it came out. They're traditional stories
Yeah.
for very traditional families.
But if you really think about it, even though marrying the prince is a good end goal for them, like Cinderella never had that goal. She just really wanted a night off. She
Yeah.
wanted to go dancing with her
Yeah.
family and everything. Like, that's all. She just didn't want to work that night.
Yeah, she wasn't like, oh, the prince, I'm going to go after him. It was just like, I'm tired of cleaning shit.
And then she ends up dancing with the prince and being like, oh, I really like this guy and he likes me.
There are some unrealistic expectations that get set on,
Yes.
on these characters that are like, you can fall in love in a snap and, one night of dancing and that they're the one.
You sing a song with them and
That's how
suddenly
it
it's
happened for me,
pure love.
guys.
Oh, really?
One night of dancing.
Okay.
I sang horribly.
For me, it was One Night in Bangkok.
One night in Bangkok.
In the target. That's not how that song goes.
I don't even know the word.
But these other characters like Mulan, she just wants to help her family out and save her
Wants
father.
to save China.
Yeah, well, she ends up saving China.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good character.
Brave Merida.
Yeah, Merida
But
doesn't want to
she's
marry.
Pixar, though, right?
Yeah, Pixar's. Yeah, but she is technically a Disney princess.
Okay.
Like they did include her in that.
Cool.
You've got. I've been trying to think
Frozen.
of other ones. Elsa,
both girls in Frozen.
Elsa and Anna.
Anna at first was very non-independent and was like, I gotta
think-
get married.
I think that was because she was tired of being alone, though.
Well, sure, but and probably her whole life she's been told by all the servants stuff. Oh, you got to find yourself prince.
Prince.
And then by the end, she's like, wait, I don't really need that.
No.
Like,
Yeah, I got a guy and a moose.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Guy and a Moose. That might be the name of the podcast. And you've got Elsa and on it. You got Jasmine, who really she doesn't really want to marry any of these suitors, and she just kind of like she doesn't even want to marry Aladdin when she first meets him.
Yeah.
But Magic Carpet Ride proves that to be wrong.
Magic.
Yeah.
the girl in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes,
Esmeralda. 100%. She's a gypsy. She's on her own. She does
She's
things
freaky.
like, like
She's a gypsy.
Yeah.
And you've got, I mean, just all these. Pocahontas is another example of a character who really is just kind of like
they're all fairly rebellious. If you realize
that's true. Actually,
it's kind of funny.
And I think the funniest portrayal of a rebellious teenager getting what they want is Tangled. It's like literally don't listen to your mother and you will find out that your life is infinitely happier.
That's the moral of the story, kids.
Exactly.
That's like the moral of our podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't listen to your mom and things go great.
Now that one mom that listened to the podcast is like, I don't like this anymore.
I'm turning it off. It was my mom.
I never.
Oh my. All right, last thing that we're going to talk about, and then we will be getting out of here and letting you guys get back to your normal workday stuff or whatever you do while you're listening to this podcast. Yeah. Mattel is coming out with a new movie. You know, the toy company?
Ted 3?
Oh, I think I know where you're going with
yeah,
this.
So we
Small
saw
Soldiers
the trailer.
2?
Small Soldiers. I wish it was Small Soldiers 2.
That'd be cool, right?
That would be an amazing movie. Get Kirsten Dunst again. What's she doing these days?
Not much.
Nope. Just having that weird snaggletooth. That's it. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Scott's like, a whole new door opened up.
Yeah, we're just like, I guess that's right.
The mental image that we have.
Mattel.
Yeah, Mattel. They're coming out with a movie based on one of their products that didn't really have anything going for it other than the toy line for a while there. And it's called Max Steel. And in it, a kid named Max has powers from his dad, and then there's this robot named Steel, who seems to be the comedy, like the Baymax of the group. And together they make Max Steel this superhero that's going to defend the planet. And it looks like we watched the trailer just before we watched started the podcast, and it really looks like an indie, almost Twilighty look for this superhero movie. Yeah, it really does. I mean, the kid looks like he's in college, like you said, Scott.
It's reminiscent of like I Am Number 4 and Star Kid,
yeah, Maze Runner. It's kind of got this. It does have this very dull quality to the cinematography, too.
I think my main problem is it's just like, having powers and getting a robot suit. Sure, it's unbelievable, but it's fun. The unbelievable part is he's only 16 and in high school. What, was he held back for 10 years?
I know, it really looks like.
Let me tell you, he's like 26.
Yeah,
he's not a high school
doesn't
kid.
Look anything like a high school kid at all. It's not like Goosebumps where they maybe managed it.
Yeah,
that worked. Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about with these movies is how I'm really excited that more companies are getting out there and making a superhero-style movie other than Marvel and DC. We can get these tertiary characters that create their own universe, because I really am in love with these third-party superhero universes. Like, I'm a huge fan. I've read dozens of novels from different universes that they've created. I've read... I've read a lot of indie comics. I've seen a lot of stuff online for these alternate realities that are just kind of really cool things to get into, and that's why I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to do very well. It doesn't look like anything special.
It kind of looked like Monster Trucks. That movie coming
That's
out.
That's where
just
I thought you were going with this whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
Mattel. I was like, we're going Monster Trucks.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It does look like Monster Trucks.
My problem... Now that I know it's by Mattel, I didn't hear that part when we first started. There's definitely an ulterior motive, and it's to sell toys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right then and there, it's already got a negative in my book. Like not the whole movie, but that just dropped points because it's just going to be to try to sell a new toy line, or action figures or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll give it a try. Because it's kind of got sci-fi elements to it, and I've got to try out most of the sci-fi out there. But it does look super cheesy.
Yeah,
it looks super cheesy.
I think they're just coming into an oversaturated field. I don't think it's going to stand out.
You don't think it's going to be? It's just going to fly under the radar a little bit.
Yeah,
we should just skip it and go watch Guardians from Russia,
the Russian movie.
Yeah, the Russian superhero movie.
I was surprised that had English subtitle or English dubbing. I thought it was just going to be.
They'll release it in America.
Yeah. I think that looks weird.
It is a little weird.
At the same time,
but it's a
interesting.
Giant, but it's a
good
half,
weird, right?
Half bear, half man with a minigun.
Yeah, that was cool.
You've got Khal Drogo mixed with, what did you say?
Khal Drogo and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, he's got that face plate on.
He's got those whatever sword, the curved sword. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are some cool tertiary movies coming out that could be really good. We'll have to see.
I just want if we're going to go with if we're going to make movies about indie comics or indie superheroes and